Welcome back, everybody, to Pick and Roll. We're at it for another weekday here on the Board HQ, which is the NBA content division of the Hammer Betting Network. And we're back after another sweep of a day. It's a bit of a mini sweep there yesterday after the 2-0 plays, making us 6-0 with Pips' picks on the week. And we're excited, even though we have a small slate today, just the 2 games, one play that Pips really likes that we're going to give you guys today. So if you're ready, you're hyped for the picks, make sure you smash that like button. We once again got to 50 likes on yesterday's stream. We want to get to 75. I know we have enough people watching who've been tailing the picks, been cashing with us this season, who are enjoying the show, who need to hit that like button. And also subscribe to keep up to date with all our content. Myself and Kirk Evans going live in about 3 hours later to cover some more NBA stuff. But let's get into the pick that we have for today. Again, only the 2 games, so a bit tougher to find the 2, 3, 4 spots that we sometimes have, but nonetheless, a pick that Pips has been a fan of for a long time today. Let's fire it up here. It is in the Bucks and Pacers game. We're going back to Giannis here, and we have a -120 SGP available at BetMGM. Giannis Antetokounmpo over 26.5 points, and we're going to pair that with the Bucks team total over 112.5. So the Giannis player prop number has been moving today. We want to try and get this with the additional team total to get our -120 odds. So let's go to Pips for this one. Why do you like Giannis today? Why do you like this spot against the Pacers?
So first off, Giannis was ejected last night and he was furious. This was so stupid. He made like crazy dunk and got second technical and was ejected. Not something we like to see in the NBA. It's so soft, and he was furious. And I think he'll get out tonight and play crazy good. He'll be very aggressive, and you can get much better matchup than this. So last season, in 3 games against the Pacers, he scored 41, then 25 in a blowout, and then 38. Yeah, just the Pacers are playing very, very high paced, and Giannis is probably one of the best transition players ever. Also, the thing about Pacers, they are allowing the least 3-point attempts. So they are running everyone off from the 3-point line. But insane stat is that they allow 36 field goal attempts at the rim. The league average is like 26, and they are allowing 36. So that's 4 more than second place Blazers that have 32. So like they are by far allowing the most rim attempts. And yeah, Giannis is one of the best to ever do it inside the close to the rim. So I just think this is like the perfect matchup for Giannis. A lot of rim attempts allowed, a lot of transition game, high paced, no one to guard him one-on-one. Very, very. I think he'll come into this game very, very focused and very, very aggressive. And yeah, that's just the thing. I wouldn't be surprised if he scored 40 points tonight. This should be a close game because Bucks struggle to defend, and in a high-paced game with Brook Lopez being a bit slower, I think Pacers could score and keep this game close. And in a close game, Giannis should just thrive. And also, he was ejected after 20 minutes last night. So he's not tired, even though it's a back-to-back game. So yeah, I think this is a crazy good spot for Giannis. And if you are going to talk about the Bucks over last season, they scored 149, 123, 141, and 132. So like average 140 points against these Pacers. And yeah, the Pacers even playing even higher pace this season, and they struggle with defense. Bucks offense is kind of doing better over the last couple of games. So offense is not the problem. The problem is defense. So I think I expect Bucks to score like 125 to 130 easily. So yeah, I think this is a good addition. If Giannis has a great game, Bucks will clear this line. So it's a bit correlated. So I love that part too.
Yeah, okay, so this one is changing very quickly as you know the Giannis play has moved. To get -120 now, you have to do 113.5. You just went on about how you think they're going to smash this line. Is 113.5 on the point line also acceptable for this one?
Yeah, no problems. I'm expecting 120 for sure.
So to get that minus 120, 113.5, also an acceptable number to play there. The main piece is that Pips really wanted to play the Giannis line today. So we're taking a really low line on the Milwaukee Bucks, the lowest that we can get basically here to get this at a juice that we're more comfortable with on the show. But it has been an incredible week so far on the show. Unfortunately, we didn't have a Tuesday as well, but Monday it was 4-0 on Pips' picks, 3-0 on pick and roll, and the big SGP was a winner. Yesterday's show, 2 picks after the Zion one voids. Anybody who actually is not aware, I tweeted about it. I mentioned it I mentioned it in the comments of the previous stream. The Zion play completely voided, even though the Pelicans went under, because in the BetMGM house rules, if one leg of your SGP voids, the entire thing voids. So a little bit unfortunate, maybe a little bit. Well, I
would
think
love,
a little unfair for BetMGM, to be honest.
Yeah, I would love that if that was the case with our Bill bet in the first part, but we used DraftKings, so yeah.
Yeah. So I guess in cases of your bets being correlated, it actually makes more sense to bet on BetMGM, because if one leg voids, then it ruins the other part. But in this case, since they're uncorrelated, then going to DraftKings, where you won't be punished by the bet voiding, might actually be better. I mean, it's a very rare instance, but it is an instance that came up here. I think ultimately it might be because you can weaponize the Zion injury and get a really good number on the team, although you just play the under. I don't know. That's just a weird house rule. But anyways, the bet voided. The big news is, as I was saying, that the bets were 2-0 yesterday. And also another pretty boring sweep, because these were completely sweat-free. Kristaps Porzingis goes for 29 in the game against the Boston Celtics. He clears this in the third quarter. Talk to us about the way Nick Nurse's defense set up against Boston that allowed for Porzingis to go off like this.
As I said, it was wide open on pick and pops against Embiid. When they switched, it was a smaller guys on him, so they just fit him in the post or via the pick and roll. Even some offensive rebounds, easy putbacks against guys like Harris and Oubre inside. Although Nurse didn't care much about Porzingis in this game, he cared about stopping Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. He did it pretty great. Like, you won't see many nights where both Tatum and Brown score under 20 points. And yeah, great stuff so far from Nick Nurse with 76ers. I know you are a huge fan of Nurse over the last couple of years, so probably seeing him thrive there. But they're playing great.
Yeah, the Nurse thing, it became, it was time for both parties to move on. The Raptors needed something different. Nurse needed something different. The relationship had gone stale. Never doubted his abilities as a coach. And we're seeing that here. Obviously, we've only played like 7-8 games, but coach of the year front runner out of the gates for sure. Because
I would say,
we weren't thinking.
My opinion on Nurse is one of the best defensive coaches of ever, and he is like average on offense. Like that. That's how I think about.
Yeah, he does. He struggles with the schematics of the offense, but when you have a player like Joel Embiid, that kind of revives a lot of your schematics deficiencies. So, definitely a frustrating part of having Nurse was the prone to going isolation late, prone to just kind of letting his star guy take over. It's kind of the like anti way he plays defense. Like he takes away his stars, and on offense, he fully invests in his star.
But last night, it was almost the same thing last night. They were up 15 with less than 2 minutes to go, and it was 3-point game minute and a half later because they just played stupid offense. Like everything that worked the entire game, they just gone away from it, and Boston Celtics almost went to the overtime.
Doesn't surprise me. That's just the Nick Nurse experience. You got to take a bit of the bad, but there is, of course, a lot of good. And he's a former coach of the year. He's won a championship, and with his Sixers team, we were seriously doubting how they'd look without Harden. Like we knew they'd be good, but they look like still that they're in contention phase. Though we'll see as the season wears on if they can keep it up. The other play was Kuzma and Ball, 20 plus points each. We could have played 30 plus points each, and this still would have won. 34 points for LaMelo, 33 points for Kuzma. A little bit worried at one point that the blowout would hurt this one, but it didn't. Easy winner here. Talk to us about this amazing matchup here between the Hornets and Wizards.
Yeah, this is the game, as I said. No defense, best players thriving with huge amount of field goals. Kuzma is in great form. Lamelo finally bounced back the game before this after terrible start to the season. So just like easily, like it was Jordan Poole and Tyus Jones defending Lamelo Ball, who has the size advantage and skill advantage and every possible advantage in the world in that matchup. High paced. Kuzma on the other side was interesting. He scored 12 points in like first 7 minutes, and then they started double teaming him whenever he was on the ball. Still didn't mean much when Kuzma starts cooking. That's just insane scoring. He's very underrated player. He was a bit overrated for when he was at the Lakers, but lately he's becoming underrated because he can score like easily, and he started to being efficient. Even like everyone expects when you become the first scoring option that your efficiency drops. This season his efficiency increased, so it will be interesting to see if anyone takes a stab and try to trade for Kuzma because he's a great third, fourth guy. And yeah, this was easily like Kuzma had 20 at the half, and Lamelo had 17. So yeah, even if it blow out, I think they covered like 3 minutes into the second half. So this was easily never in that.
Well, there you go. Great stuff from the bets. Those are 2-0, hoping for the winner, of course, for today as well. Some of the comments here wanted to get to. Braden makes a good point on the DK house rules. I actually wasn't aware of this, so that when one of the legs of the parlay voids, then they adjust the prices to the new odds on the parlay, which is that's horrible because you end up with a very unfair price of something you didn't want to bet. So yeah, much more fair for MGM just to avoid that. But I wanted to make that known since I said that, like, oh, if they're uncorrelated, bet at DK. Don't do that because they will.
I'll just say, like, DraftKings is being shitty this season. I had so many complaints about half the USA and entire Canada SGPs are just terrible. I'll just find like some SGP minus 110, and people from Canada or some parts of USA, I don't know which one, will say like it's minus 200 for me, like the same thing. Like it's crazy, and they're
you're not even exaggerating, by the way.
Yeah,
like that's actually happened for us.
Yeah, it's terrible stuff, and I don't know like if they are going to switch everything to that provider and just use that terrible stuff, because I think people will stop betting it. Like if you see BetMGM has doubled the price, like people won't bet at the DraftKings, and I expected much more from DraftKings, and they limit some people from my group complain that they can get like $30 on same game pilots, and that's crazy stuff from DraftKings. So I just hope it gets better with season.
You know, I'm kind of like it's horrible. For me personally, I wasn't really able to bet SGPs on DraftKings regardless, so this is doesn't really affect me that much. But I think the bigger issue is with these numbers. I'd be curious to see how many people still bet them, because I would guess that they're not hurting their bet amounts that much. Like DraftKings is at the point very big. It's the second biggest rec sportsbook, I think, behind FanDuel. I think that's fair to say. I think people are going to bet there regardless, but it'll be interesting.
Sure. Yeah. When it comes to NBA props, I wouldn't even call FanDuel a rec book anymore. Like I think they're pretty sharp. Like
right.
Yeah, I think they are the sharpest so far.
For props, they are the sharpest.
Yeah. And I saw their limits. They're like 2 hours before the game. Their limits for props like 10K, which is like 5 to 10K. So
that's it's a very sharp number.
Yeah.
Samson mentioned that DK is in the process of moving away from Genius SGP provider to their own in-house. I believe that's what MGM uses. So last season we always had like the same. Start of this year as well, in some places it's been the same. But if you notice, we've deviated away from really using DraftKings for the reason that like the numbers are just like impossible to bet on there. Final thing, Jeremy Kahn says that there is a 100% boost on DK that if you do have access to the good line on this bet, you can add in a third leg, such as the Giannis over 8.5 boards, and get up to plus 230. Wouldn't go heavy on that one, but yeah, definitely plus 230 for
I
Giannis
mean,
on the boards.
at that price for sure. Like that's great. Like at that price, that's great for sure.
Well, there you go. An extra little play you can have along with the one play that we do have for today. It's a small slate, just 2 games, but there is a pick here. We want to take Giannis on the points, and to get us to this minus 120 price, we have either the over 112.5 or the over 113.5. Pips is expecting easy cover on the points for the Bucks here at 120 or more if Giannis does go over this line. So that is the one play for today. Thank you everybody for tuning in. The board is not done for today though. I am going to be back on later at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time, 2 hours and 39 minutes from now as of the live recording, to go live with Kirk Evans. We're going to be talking NBA rookie ladder. We're going to be talking Memphis struggles. We're going to be talking a little bit more of the 76ers. So make sure you guys tune in over there to keep up to date with the content. Subscribe to the channel, follow on your favorite podcast platform. And remember, guys, we want to hit 75 likes on today's stream. So smash that like button if you did enjoy.
We were close last time.
We were close. I think that might have been the most we've ever had, but we want to keep shooting upward, onward, and upward. And after a 6-0 week so far, I think that we deserve it over here. Pips definitely deserves it for the work he's putting in. So support the channel. And me and Pips will be back tomorrow for another episode of Pick and Roll and for a big SGP to round off the week. We hope to see you there.